Welcome to my house, baby, take control. Baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Come on, bring a friend. Welcome to my house.
Now recording live for, I haven't a clue, maybe the sixth time. I think this is maybe number six of the My House Darts and Farts, or whatever Donald Fagan decides to call it this week, podcasts, chats with me. And joining me today, I have someone who is becoming a bit of a name in the local scene for darts. I don't know about his ability in throwing, which he'll not thank me for saying, but certainly for stepping up to the plate during lockdown and creating the Newry Online Darts League. Gary McGinn. Gary, how are you?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, pleasure to have you on. Of course, Gary, you and I have known each other a number of years. We've worked in the same business, and we've been at the same tournaments, and obviously you attend the Summer League regularly. Um, your wife, Denise, finalist, ladies finalist in the Newry League. So darts in your house is quite prevalent then.
It is indeed, yeah. It's well, barring the football arguments, it starts in this house, yeah.
So
Starts.
it's Man City, it's Man City, Man United. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Well, okay. I'm sure.
Touchy sometimes. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm sure it is. Yeah. Yeah. It gives Denise the ability to say to you, you're the one with the money.
Yeah, well, at least I'm prominent in football. Maybe she's the dart. She's a bit better, but at least I have the bragging rights of football at the minute.
I would hate to cross Denise, but you were also prominent for a long time in boxing.
Yeah, done a bit of that. I just thought the darts were less sore in the face. So cut that up.
They tend to be, yeah, somebody
Yeah,
pegging a board from you know almost 8 foot away is it's a little less repetitive to the old nosebleeds as
it is
getting
indeed, yeah.
slapped right in the snout. Um, well, firstly, let's get the stuff about lockdown out of the way. You still working away? How are you coping with it all?
Yeah, just working from home. Yeah, just look, it's not too bad. I have a couple of monitors on an ironing board, so I'm making do. So yeah, still working and so sort of fortunate to be working, and the good lady, she's working too. So yeah, all's good.
Excellent. Well, let me promote Mufti Morgan here, who I was in a similar situation. First day of working from home, and I had a plastic tower of drawers, them things you get in like home bargains, one of them. I had one of them and a
All right.
laptop on the top of it, sitting on the end of the bed, and it was like this has to change and quickly. So put a call in to our good friend John Morgan, who was able to build me up what can only be described as a first class oak veneer desk, shelves and everything in it. It's a wonderful piece of equipment now.
Good
And
man, Mufti.
yeah, and I spent my days at it now, So highly reliable for anybody out there that's looking at a wee desk when they're working from home. Give Mufti a shout. He's your man to go to. Um, that's right. So the Newry Online League, Gary, has it's really taken off, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, and I think the guys are enjoying it as well. It's a bit of banter, it's a bit of crack, and it just keeps the arm going for well, we don't know how long, but yeah, the crack's good, the darts are good, and sort of just gives us a bit of a bit of banter and a bit of good spirits, and at these times, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely good. You're putting a huge amount of effort. I was going to say a lot of effort, but it's a huge amount of effort into getting groups set up on Messenger for everybody and getting everybody onboarded for 8 o'clock of a Friday night. And I've played now in a few weeks of it. Obviously, you and I had previously talked about it before you had even kicked it off, and about doing the webcam darts and different things, I guess. So I suppose to bring something like that, to put the time in to bring it to fruition, credit to you, and it really has. I know, I appreciate there's, what is there, 16 lads at the minute, is it? Or
There is indeed, yeah, and it's just it's a big thanks to Liam Bradley and Mark McAvoy for giving me a hand. You know, it's without them I couldn't do it myself. You know, it's they have the expertise and the Mark even promoting it with the McAvoy darts, which is brilliant, and Liam just with the overall knowledge of the dart league and how to run things. So appreciate them by his help. You know.
yeah, absolutely. And to be fair to Liam, you'd need to give him something to do in lockdown, or he'd go stone crazy. Um, which is true. Um, so you've been, how long have you been throwing darts? You've been in and about the Newry League now a number of years. But like, how did you get into it? Was it through Denise that you get into darts, or was it just?
Yeah, well, this will be when this is I'm coming into my fourth year throwing darts now, so it's not too long. So I'm sort of just well, I'm about all the tournaments, you know. So as you know,
Mhm.
lingering about somewhere out of the first round, go for pints. But um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so when I first met Denise, yeah, I used to go in the White Cross bar and watch her playing darts. I never picked up a dart. My father, he threw darts, and it just wasn't my thing. I never really got interest on it. Watch it in telly, yeah, brilliant. And then come down every Friday night instead of sitting there talking to the old boys in White Cross. You know, I thought I'd maybe throw a few darts. And there was one time really, the guys were playing in Carcruppen, I think it was, and the game was over. There was a taxi bus late or something, and I started playing a couple of lads and took a few legs off them and said, you know, this could be a bit of crack here. We'll see how this goes. And yeah, so just went to the team and I really enjoyed it with the crack with the boys, you know, and then sort of took off from there.
And of course, good friend of my brother-in-law, Shamey McParland, sort of went back briefly this year. Went back. Um, Paddy Lavelle, Jamie Mulligan, Con Lee. I mean, you have a great bunch of lads out in Whitecross there. Um, I suppose that doesn't. For those who don't know, and of course, this is part of the reason why I invited you on to have a chat with me today, other than the fact that we're friends, was of course that it's nice for everybody to hear the stories of the likes of legends like Tucker and Kevin Woods, and but it's also nice for lads like Jamie and Con and Lee to hear one of their teammates coming on having a chat and just having a bit of banter about the darts and a bit of banter about their team and whatever. So the setup in Whitecross darts team, Paddy the Power Lavelle is the driving force behind it. Give us a bit about Paddy.
Well, we all know about Paddy. You know, he loves the darts. You know, he's Paddy. You know, as a player, I haven't seen anybody who's come on as much in the last even year. You know, it's just darts, darts, darts with Paddy. When he's finished work up in Buchanan and Lee there, he's just right in the dartboard. He's very very knowledgeable about darts. He's keeps the team together, keeps the morale going, and he's a great lad. You know, he is just the captain material. You know, he is Mr. Captain in Whitecross. You know.
Yeah, and I don't think for a second anybody would disagree with that in the Whitecross team. Obviously, you also have a few Egypts in there like Binky and Jamie who uh, can can do nothing but add to the crack within the darts. I think it was it in Bleak Country House we were in over Christmas, or the Mountain House? Where was that we had? And
I
Binky
still
came.
hear I still hear that thud on the ground. Yeah, that's where you're getting at?
Yeah. So
That was bleak. Yeah.
yeah, oh, Bleak, yeah. So Binky, like myself, would be a man of a more rotund nature. Um, yeah, um, he's got ample assets, like myself. And when he played Fester and he tripped over the butts and landed, and literally the I think because he was winding Fester up at the time, I was marking the game, and so I was kind of looking at the board, um, and I heard him winding Fester, and don't get me wrong, it was great. He was actually throwing me my darts. He didn't even have a set of darts with him, Binky, but I heard the thud and I instantly shit myself. I was like, oh, fuck me, Fester's lost it here, and smacked him. And and Binky was lying on the ground just chuckling to himself. And
Yeah,
I,
I think he got a bit overexcited there. I think he hit a 60, left himself and maybe tops maybe, and
That's
seen the
exactly what
headlines.
happened. He did. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He had a big score and left himself tops, and he was just so excited that he literally fell over the butts. And
Brilliant.
uh, you know, as the old expression goes, try and take the turtle off its back.
No, I.
Um, so, but brilliant lads out there in Whitecross. So you've in Whitecross specifically, obviously Denise from out that direction. Um, you joined the team. You would have been a driving force behind a couple of charity events that they ran out there as well with darts. So give me a wee bit about that and let everybody know, like, because I know that before all this you were kind of planning on doing more, and just recently there was speaking with Jared McCartney, Liam Bradley, a few other lads in Uri, and the Newry League are now in conjunction, and sort of Jared is the driving force behind it, but
Hmm.
they're now organising an open tournament countrywide. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can enter this tournament to raise funds for frontline workers, hospice, hospitals, north and south,
Hmm.
um, which is fantastic. But you've also done a few events there. So you did one. The last one that I distinctly remember was Terry Jenkins, I believe.
Hmm.
Terry Jenkins walked in and everybody's like, "Who's your boy?"
Yeah.
Nobody recognised him because he had shaved the head and
Well, this boy from the town, is he?
yeah, he was like just an outboy from Whitecross in a Terry Jenkins shirt
Until he lifted a set of darts.
till he lifted a set of darts. Yeah, blew a lot of people away. But really successful. Like, what did you end up raising with that?
Yeah, there was, what did we end up raising that time? It was over, I think it was over 6 grand, 6.5 grand, I think it raised.
Like, that's incredible. Six and a
It was
half
brilliant,
grand
yeah.
in Whitecross bar. Like, it's not. And I appreciate you had like a mass amount of sponsors, and thanks has to go to them. But I
Hmm.
mean, like, um, I know myself. I compared the evening. I had great crack with all the lads, including Terry himself. But there was a lot. In fairness, there was a decent amount of Newry lads came out in support.
Oh yeah, yeah, I really appreciate the lads come out as well. Lads from every division, every team.
Y-
That's I meet them at the tournaments and all, and have the crack with them, and that's why we go to all the tournaments. We sort of repay favors, and I like just to get if there's a charity or whatever it's going for, I would support, anything. So just to get raise a few quid, and I appreciate the boys returning the favour as well, coming out for a night's crack as well.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff in Newry when Newry Darts is exactly that. It's about charity, really. Like there's massive competitive edge in every division. In fairness, even your own.
Hmm.
Um, but like the reality is, it does get to a point where no matter what, the Newry people, and we've all seen it. It's not just with darts. You can see it with the likes of Kevin Bell Fund and how well the hospice is supported. But when it comes to
Hmm.
when it comes to charity events, like the lads in Newry Darts really do like to go well above and beyond what's asked of them every time.
Yeah.
Um, and it's brilliant to see the support that they provide. But like over 6 grand in White Cross bars unheard of, like.
Hmm.
But the people of White Cross are. I have to be honest. Like obviously spent enough time, more than enough time out there with Shamey and that, and Alison, the sister-in-law who live out there. Like just brilliant people, brilliant, you know, absolute gems. Like will back you on anything you want to do, and the whole community gets behind you.
Oh, they do, yeah. Like even like all the help from the boys and all the sponsors, and especially like the likes of Comet Parland, with his business, and Lee, and even Connor Dorn and Poppy, and with the joinery, and Benky and Jamie, or even with the transport and all. It was unbelievable, even just with our team alone.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's just even with the team alone, the amount of money we raise, and then the guys coming in buying tickets, and the businesses, around the even South Amar area and Uri area, even from way up the Hilltown. It was just, brilliant. It was a great response, and yeah, it was just a great night. I'm glad it all worked out, and it was for the hospice. So, people dug deep, which we'd really appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course the hospice going through a tough time, but I seen Conor Murphy announced over 1 million in funding for them today.
Brilliant.
So, exactly what they need at a time of crisis like this where their
Hmm.
fundraising events are on hold. But also, any of the dart players listening do enter the tournament being run by the Newry League there, and being driven and I suppose organised in whole by Jared McCartney, it's going to be a brilliant tournament for crack, for catching up with all your mates, but also just simply the fact that the money that's raised in this is going to go towards keeping people safe. Essentially, I don't like to say
Hmm.
exactly where it's going for because I don't provide protective equipment for people or whatever, so I don't know exactly. But I know that the long and short of it is that people are going to be safer,
Yeah,
a lot
definitely.
a lot safer than they are listening to somebody like Donald Trump telling you to drink domestos and inject yourself with Curex.
Yeah, yeah, a bit, yeah.
That's
Good way to
ju-
put it.
well, and now again, that's allegedly. He allegedly said that, before before trying to post this on YouTube and it's pulled
Before this
down.
goes to millions.
Yeah, the millions, the 48 people and 48 people who listen to this for 15 minutes and then turn it off, and then me trying to listen to it on repeat.
Yeah, when
Um,
my name comes up, that's just 18 people.
yeah, and that's you 16 times and Denise once.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
so yeah, so well, obviously, as you're working away, you've got the Newry Online League set up. Um, so on your travels, right, about the Newry League, I told you I would ask you a wee bit about this. You are seen regularly with the lesser mentioned hot dog.
Oh, yeah. Partner in crime, that is.
Yes, and just to get into your thinking a wee bit. I remember particularly, I think it was at that competition around Christmas we were at, and I had said you were actually talking about what your aspirations were in darts going forward and all this kind of stuff, and you had said to me, people like hot dog who just have a love for it and put the time into practicing and trying to get better and going to the tournaments and stuff. Like
Hmm.
those sort of people around you inspire you to keep doing the same.
Yeah, definitely. They push me on. Even like if there was a tournament in Uri, I would meet a couple of the boys, the likes of Hot Dog and all, and go down to maybe McGee's for a wee throw, and just I love to see the boys doing well, and I love the summer league as well. I love going to that, and you're playing. You're not playing, same teams every week, and you're mixing, and you're playing people, and I think you lift your game up if you're playing like the likes of yourselves in the Premier League. I like, you know, at the start I used to dread it faster. Now, I enjoy it because I feel that, it brings me on. If I get a leg on the board or if I hit a good score, I get down to a double, I'm happy with it. It's improvement for me,
Yeah.
and I like, bouncing off them lads, and, I think it's benefiting me,
And like whenever you say, and again, um, briefly, when you certain players you'll play and you always have a little bit, especially when you're only coming into darts and you're new to darts. And
Hmm.
we've had a few of those players on, obviously the likes of Tucker, Mark McAvoy, people like this who their name precedes them. If you see you coming up against a certain person in a draw, you kind of think
Hmm.
to yourself, oh,
Yeah,
there's instant doubt. Which is something that all dart throwers have to get past, and you can only get past that by going and playing these people so much more regularly that
yeah.
you end up beating them the odd time, and then all of a sudden you don't have that doubt of playing them because you know you can beat them because you've done it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
um,
there was a thing even stuck with me that Fester told me, actually, words of wisdom from Fester here for the first time.
hold on a
It's
minute. Now I know you're telling lies.
Yeah, where were we in tournament? We were in a tournament in Claddy that Sean Devlin and them ran, and I was talking to Fester, and surprise, surprise, I got another nice draw with Nathan Rafferty. I always get him, and we were talking, just had a chat, and he was saying that, you know you're sort of going to have to aim to, beat the best. So beat the guy, so to give the other boys, like to get him out of the way for the other boys, type of thing, if that makes sense. So he was saying, when he used to be that person, like, to beat one of the better, or try and beat one of the better guys in the tournaments for the guys, going forward for the mates in the tournament, or if that makes sense. So you're going to have to try and get the big gun out for the other people, where, if that makes sense.
It does, but it also doesn't because if you're good enough to beat that big guy, then you're
Mhm.
good enough to beat all the rest of those big guys. So you're not doing them a favor, you're doing yourself a favor. So
Yeah. Well, it's a
I
favour for me, but it's sort of like a starting point if you're going to try and get to pass that boy, and then
yeah,
that's sort of like a milestone, if that makes sense, and then
yeah, monkey
maybe
off your
go
back.
again, and then yeah.
And how did that work
You probably watch it, didn't you?
out? Nathan Rafferty's just different class, you know what I mean? And it's brilliant.
uh,
It's brilliant that he still gets to these tournaments with us. Considering what he's trying to do, and the like Shane McGurk was there that day too.
I get him all the time. It's either him, Mickey Mansell, Mick McGowan. It's always me, you know.
Are you
I can't get another Gary McGinn, you know.
I think there is only one Gary McGinn.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thought behind that. Is there any? Are you still throwing with Mickey Mansell starts?
I am indeed, yeah. It's I'd be like a poor man's Peter Wright. I change darts every time I'm in a bad form. But this time, sticking with these, they're doing all right.
Yeah,
Getting a few legs with them.
they've been about a while now. I'd probably say you must have them about 6 or 9 months now, anyway. So and
They're
there's
doing well.
there's people like Donald Fagan and Mark McAvoy listening to this, and they're listening back and they're going, I haven't changed my darts in 30 years. Like what the
Yeah,
what
shaking
the
their head.
you know. But there's nothing wrong with experimenting till you find the right tools, I suppose.
That's it.
But then again, there's no point in trying to lay bricks with a saw. So
No, good
just
point. Good point.
just be careful on that. So I want to bring you back to White Cross for a minute. Just obviously darts and White Cross. It's a bit out of the way, right? So you're currently living, let's say, a Bestbrick for rather than
Hmm.
split hairs and it. White Cross a bit out of the way. Does every game feel like an away game, or
From a move when I got married here and moved, I'm here what 6, 7 months, and I could the game like the likes of Denise, would go out to their mums and that, leave me out, but then it's a lot of them is traveling, but it's it's like I love it, it's crack with the boys, and there's always. Like I'll be friendly with a lot of the teams, so there's always someone coming past in the area or something, so I'm annoying them for a lift out the road, but it works itself out. But yeah, there's a lot of travelling in it, but I love playing out there. I love the crack with the boys and all, but yeah, there's a bit of travelling even just for home games.
I used to love when we jaunt out to White Cross because Geraldine would have had the chip van, and
No, I.
you should get a lot of chips, maybe a goujon or a cocktail sausage, and now don't get me wrong, I very rarely actually like I've done exhibitions in White Cross with showing yourself and shaming. No, I'm only joking. I've done the exhibitions, like comparing the exhibitions for Kevin Painter and Terry Jenkins and that. Um, I suppose I've actually very rarely. I think I've played White Cross and darts once out there.
Mhm.
White Cross haven't got the rub of the green in that sense. They've always been the team travelling in us in cups and things like that. Um, what do you think of the current format of cup nights in the league, where you have like 4 teams in a venue?
Um, I don't mind it, to be honest with you. There's from the likes of when was the last time I won it? Like likes of trainers in the cups and all. It was run very very well. It was grand. Everything went like clockwork. I'm happy enough with it, to be honest. 9 times out of 10 we don't get a second game, so we're just focusing on the first. So, but yeah, it is the way it's brilliantly ran, and then they have a cup games and all. So credit to all of the boys, doing it. But I enjoy them. I don't see any issues with them. I think they're spot on, to be honest. As I say, we'll get our one game, and then the two winners will play.
So, taking into consideration the players that you actually have in White Cross, right? If they all actually stayed together,
Hmm.
what division do you think White Cross would be playing in?
Uh, see the like guys of the White there is some cracking throwers in White Cross. Even some of the younger lads. Michael Dorn, he's gonna be a brilliant thrower. Even,
Is
like
that
the
Connor's
experience.
young lad? Is it?
Connor's young lad, yeah, and and Paul Dorn, his uncle, are the Hibs.
Yeah, I know Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant wee thrower. Listen's very very keen. He plays on a Friday night with us, so we get him a lot of experience too. Even coming into some of the guys older than me, some of the experience. Con McParlin, very, very, very good thrower. Lee, cracking thrower. Shamey, glad he's back. He's a big boost for the team. Paddy, as steady as ever. And when Binky gets going, when Binky gets around amount of Carlsberg enemies, Phil Taylor.
He is. He's definitely a liquid confidence type of guy.
He is.
There's no doubt about it. If like I suppose I look at some of the people from in round Whitecross area that throw darts, right? Mickey Diesel, who throws with us, who is phenomenal dart thrower, right? Has won. You could just go on for hours about everything that Mickey's done and won, and also one of the generation of darts characters, like Mickey brings a presence with him on darts. It's very like there's almost, and I suppose it's probably like the evolution from BDO to PDC, and you've now got, as I call them, they're like factory made characters, right? So you've your favorite, right, the Iceman Gerwin Price, right? So who my personal opinion is I think he's a bit of a prick, right? But that's just me.
Get a bit of stick in that darts page for him, mate.
Yeah.
Every time he wins something, I put it up. Mark McAvoy's the first one to comment on it.
Marty McParlin's not a big fan either.
No.
But so like right, so Gerwin Price, who you have my thoughts on anyway. I know you love him, but I just think he's OTT. Like there's just too much nonsense, and he's don't get me wrong, he has become a lot better over time. He's improved massively. He's now probably sitting in top 5, is he? Maybe top 4. I don't know.
He's 3, isn't he?
He could be.
Yeah.
He's had a great last, let's say, 18 months. Personally speaking, I still think he's a prick, but he has got a lot. He has got a lot better, right? But he seems to be a factory-made character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
like he doesn't have a natural charisma, right? Like Phil Taylor had a natural broody kind of attitude that people either loved or hated, right? A lot of people didn't like him because he's a serial winner, right? Barney had, for some reason, just like a mass following. We did the exhibition with Barney and Newry, and he was brilliant.
Yeah, very good night.
If you bring that down to Newry level, right? Take yourself through the leagues, characters in the leagues, like off the top of my head, I'm thinking of real characters that are left throwing darts in Newry, right? And the new breed of characters that are coming through. So characters that I can think off the top of my head, Jimmy Little, who's throwing in your division at the minute, I think. But like Jimmy's had his heyday. He's still throwing, but he's had his heyday as the character he was. Mo Flynn's a character.
Yeah, Mo. Yeah, that's a definition of a character there now. Mo, the Mo show. Good shout.
So Mo, Mo will love, and I'll shout out to. He's Mo's a proper character of darts, and he just loves darts. Like loves it.
Yeah.
Get shirts made for pairs competitions just because that's what you do in darts. You have to have your shirt, and
That was glorious, by the way, that one.
It was absolutely like running about in a DX shirt for him and Hot Dog. I mean, I'd never seen the like of it, but I thought it was amazing, like amazing. He may never like pair up a Hot Dog. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you maybe spent 70 or 80 quid in these two shirts, and they're outlandish at best, and you might never throw a game of pairs again together. Like hilarious.
Brilliant.
Who are you throwing pairs with at the minute?
Who was I throwing pairs with last? Here's my Paddy
the Power.
And 2 in the spin, so I did, 2 years in the spin now.
Lovely. And what's he like to throw with as a partner?
Yeah, we played there. Where did we play? McGee's, and we played Danny and Connor Carlin, 2 good throwers. Paddy. Me and Paddy would have a good, understanding, about what to hit, what we like, like what doubles and that. So Paddy, in that regard, Paddy's very smart. See, Paddy's counting in that. He's top notch, like board management as they call it.
Much better than yours.
Oh.
You know why I say this, because there's been times where you've hit 3 7, 3. You went, what was that?
Yeah. I'm out of fortune. Boys, you mark that, will you?
Favors everywhere.
Oh, stop.
Um, do you think with the amount of darts that you're involved with now that you're getting better at it?
Yeah, definitely. I tell you what I did. Tell you what, if people listen, laugh at this. I bought a whiteboard marker, right,
Hmm.
or like on the board, and whenever we were in White Cross, I, even like if we are playing one of the boys, even if I was playing, say, Colin O'Hanlon or Mark O'Hanlon,
Mm.
I put iPads away, phones away, and just, even if I ran over and I marked it, myself, just
Yeah,
because I loved, you see at the start, I loved going to them tournaments, and then what was in my mind was, you know, I know if I could beat her, I'm gonna have to, mark, and that spurred me on. Now, I can mark a game,
yeah,
but yeah, it definitely, coming to these tournaments, and all the boys are 100%. Even, people listening to this, when I was talking to a couple of guys, did have doubts with marking and that, it's a very important, part of, darts, and people, saying, oh, I can't, I'm not going to go. The only way you can, and people tell me this all the time, the only way you can is to do it, and people's not going to, the odd people, the odd character, shout obscenities at you if you, get something wrong, but it's the only way to learn, I think, and it's really took me on with it.
it,
Even counting with a hit with a dart.
yeah. It's massive. It's a massive part of darts, and it's one of them things that it actually annoys me to a certain degree. People that refuse
Yeah.
their game to mark, that annoys me, and it annoys
Mhm.
me simply for the reason that um a you're showing disrespect to
Mhm.
the people that's coming after you because they would do it for you.
Mhm.
Um, B, you're not helping yourself by not marking a game because if you don't do it, you will never learn the combinations, you will never learn to memorize your finishing, all of that type of thing.
Yeah.
And C, it's just ignorant. Like, just mark your fucking game. Like,
Yeah,
don't
just
be
do it.
fucking, you know what I mean?
Get on with
Just fucking do it. Everybody else does it. You fucking dick. Um,
it.
but but there's a lot of like the likes of Carter Gainey and stuff. Them boys made a fortune by in their youth. Just standing about the Northern
Yeah.
Ireland Open. Yeah, I'll mark for you. Yeah, no bother. Favour at home. Why wouldn't
Happy
you?
days.
Why wouldn't
Yeah.
you? Do you know what I mean? I'd do it myself. You know what I mean? No
Only you
bother.
don't get put out in the first rounds.
Yeah, I'm just well. That depends. It depends on what tournament it is.
Yeah.
In the summer leagues, I've been lucky enough not to get put out in first rounds. But
Yeah,
when
you
we,
had a good run last year, didn't you, in them summer leagues?
I did, yeah, I have a good run most years in the past couple of years in the summer leagues. But making the draw helps that. Liam Bradley will
Yeah.
tell you all about that. When you're in control of the draws, anything can happen.
Oh, yeah. You must have fed it with me the past couple of years, did you?
No, no, it just you were unfortunately collateral damage.
Oh, I don't know that. Threw in.
Um, whenever you started coming to the summer league, did it open your eyes more to like tournaments that like obviously the summer league is um it's like an inner circle tournament if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a Newry tournament for Newry lads. Um, it is and it's not. It's a Newry tournament for anybody that's run by
Mm.
Newry lads. Um, and like the past couple of years, I think last year we gave to um the asthma research unit for kids with asthma in Queen's University. I think
Brilliant.
they got £1,000. I think 2 years in a row before that, um, two different meningitis trusts got £1,000. Special Olympics have got it. Like over the past number of years, the amount of money raised in the summer league for charities that people don't see.
Hmm.
Only the people that's in the summer league see it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
the prize money, people like on finals night of summer league, the prize money is as good as any.
Yeah.
Obviously, the weekly prize money, you win 50 quid if you win it. But I mean, for to keep number one, to keep your darts going throughout the summer, keep your
Yeah.
arm in competitive darts against good throwers. It's a brilliant setup, the summer league. I really love it, and I'm not saying that because I'm part of the setup of it. I'm saying that because I genuinely love the competition. I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity for everybody to come in and see different people from different divisions. Like some of my best people in the summer league to talk to are the likes of Peter Johnson, yourself, Mo, Hot
Hmm.
Dog. Um, people that come every week, Marty Holland. These people, Ronan Mulholland, everybody. they religiously turn up every week in, week out, week in, week out, and some as and when you started. Now, thankfully, as shown when you're down the point and you slap the head of Mufti Morgan, uh, he'll appreciate
You were
that.
going to say
Yeah.
that.
Thankfully, yeah, you have improved over time, which most dart throwers will do. Um,
Mm.
but like when you're only starting out and you're going to a summer league and you're getting kicked out first game every week, it can be what was it not demor
Dishearten you type of thing. Like
yeah, not
it's
demoralizing, but
no.
it can become boring for you then. It's like what's the point me going here and throwing a favor in there to do that? Like,
Yeah.
but the people that stick out are the people that get the most out of it.
Okay, yeah, like the first year I went, that was me, and coming into even last year there, I was winning a couple of games. It was building my confidence up coming up for the league,
Yeah,
and you know, me personally in the last couple of years, White Cross had a very successful, like wins. It was very successful year for me, in relation to wins and
yeah,
progress.
yeah.
And as I say, a couple of the lads as well came with me. Connor Dorn was one of them, and even with him, it's you seen his it's like what do I say like a his form has went up. After come through a couple of them, and I think it does benefit you because if you're sitting there all summer, you're out the back drinking beer, you're not throwing any darts, and you're next thing you just get up when the dart league starts, and then we're away. You'll be rusty and you miss a crack with the boys too. I think it's great. Your different pubs and it's oh, it is. I look forward to it now.
Yeah, but as you said, it's brilliant for giving the different venues a shout.
Hmm.
And particularly once we get back to some sort of normality, competitions like that will need to happen to help the pubs along.
Yeah.
Um, it is a pity in a sense that we only have one or two venues that are sort of on the outskirts of Newry. The likes of Trainers there or Mayo Bridge. Mayo Bridge are always very good to us.
Hmm.
Always hold a raffle for us and stuff to help with the fundraising every year as well. But um, the problem is how do you try and encourage 60 men to go out to White Cross Bar for a night? It's
Yeah.
it's not really feasible, as much as we'd love to do it. But
Hmm.
that's not to say that it can't happen. Because you were talking about organising a competition in White Cross Bar.
Yeah. Again, I'm sort of always thinking of doing like the charity things and organising me competitions and that. So, um, yeah, obviously if we're down the line at some stage, I'd love to do something like that. Yeah, and I would, you know, yeah, again, as you say, getting people out. But if a couple of people there make a few quid, all the better. So hopefully it's something we can do down the line.
Well, it's about getting the right numbers. So if you get the right numbers, you can get transport for them, stuff like that. Um, Good one
Hmm.
actually in in Whitecross Bar. The mystery of hot dogs missing dart. Can you remember that?
Is if Justin McKev is listening, is that still under is it his back pocket? Is it
It,
or
ver-
da?
it very well could be. The one of the highlights of any of those exhibitions had to be when Hot Dog had he probably had gone overboard with his liquid confidence that night, and
Mm.
in if maybe he was a bit nervous or something, he tried to settle himself down through the medium of Carlsberg, which wasn't the option he should have taken. Um, but when so we're about to introduce a player, and I'm giving them the big one and telling them how wonderful this player is before I announce the name, and a few mischievous gentlemen at the back of the room tell Hot Dog, that's you, that's you. And Hot Dog goes out into the other room,
Yeah.
and the door's open, and we call on somebody completely different. And Hot Dog walking back in, just completely confused as to what was happening. It's
Really.
probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen at an exhibition out there. You mentioned a couple of lads there, Con, Lee McParland, and Big Shamey, and you said Big Shamey was a big plus for you coming back in.
Yeah.
Now this is something that I think is a more serious topic and probably needs addressed. Your team was sort of struggling,
Hmm.
um, without being in any way rude. It wasn't. It was sort of struggling. Um,
Wasn't
and
going as planned, you could say.
correct. And so Shamey came back on board.
Hmm.
Made a big difference.
Yeah.
Does that encourage you to say there should be some sort of transfer window for darts?
Uh, yeah, it would give like it would give a lift. At a certain point in the season, you could maybe try and do your business. The proof is in the pudding with us with Shamey. Shamey came in, made an instant impact. Even got the morale because it's very tight, that team. It's everybody's mate, and so when he came to the bar and got the crack going, and it raised the morale, and the darts, his darts speak for himself. He came in, believe it or not, texting me saying, "Can I have a set of darts?" As we go back to all the darts I have. So he didn't even have his own darts, and still playing super stuff. So yeah, that could benefit some teams, even down the lower leagues, or even in the top leagues as well. So with people maybe not showing up, or people maybe have work commitments, or yeah, it could benefit a wee transfer window somewhere.
Shamey's a very talented dart thrower, by the way, and doesn't like he's one of those people that I filter in under the lost dart throwers category of people who have like really good level darts talent if they use it and they're stuck with it, and he doesn't. He just doesn't bother. He's too interested in football and bowls and
But he wouldn't remind me he's good at darts, though.
no, no.
No,
Shamey wouldn't do it. Shamey's not a talker. Like
no, he
Shame.
wouldn't give you his 100% record, so he wouldn't know.
Whenever you kicked in and you started kind of taking it more seriously, right? Did you have a
Yeah.
mentor? Like when I was throwing darts starting, I had many people who I kind of admired watching them throw, and then the likes of Mickey White and Jocelyn McKevitt kind of would at different times would have kind of taken me under their wing, and even
Hmm.
now the two lads will have very stern conversations with me about certain things I do when I'm playing or after my games or whatever, because they um either watch me and think I'm not doing what I should be doing
Hmm.
with the talent that I have, or they think that I'm trying too hard or whatever it may be, or certain psychological
Hmm.
things in darts. Do you have anybody like that that kind of goes with you that keeps you on your toes?
Yeah, well, now, like the last couple of years there, I've been playing in the Dock League on a Thursday night, and Mickey Diesel takes me down. And even just in the car journey down and that, he's talking about darts, and even from tournaments he's going, then he's seeing me, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and just even like psychological things as well, and even just the stories about what he's won and that sort of thinking geez, I'd love to do that. And he's Mickey was good for my game. He was, and he still is. He's telling me things, and it's not a bad person to be not a bad person to be telling you to
No.
do this or do that.
Well, you'll definitely know how to put people off.
Yeah.
He loved me for saying that.
Oh no.
But listen, Mickey's another character of the game, and he's another,
Yeah.
like people say what you want about Mickey Donnelly. He's a fucking brilliant dart thrower, and
Hmm.
he's a winner.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's a winner, and um, certain things that Mickey will do in his own routine, he'll shout at himself. He'll fucking F and blind. He takes a sip of his drink literally every time he comes back from the board. There's all these, but everybody has their own wee thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody has their own wee routine to get into and their own wee idiosyncrasy. Mickey's very like that. But he's very straight. He's very straight talking. Like if
Hmm.
Mickey, to be honest with you, if Mickey puts you off and he knows he's doing it, Mickey will tell you on it.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing. The one thing that he doesn't do is he doesn't tell lies about it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I have a lot of respect for Mickey. And I've played darts with him now for a number of years between trainers and boys. And I love the lad. I think he's a brilliant fella. I think he's
Hmm.
brilliant for darts because he's as controversial as they come at times. But
Yeah.
and I love a bit of controversy. But no, he's a really brilliant character, and you couldn't ask for a better person to look up to in darts or to
Hmm.
help you along in darts. You know what I mean? Because he's been around the block so many times.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
for such a young man. He's very, for such a such a young man. Celebrated a good birthday this year in Boyd's and got very drunk with the rest of us. Fair play to him. So Mickey would have been your go-to then.
Yeah, even before like I started playing, and as I say, I was in Whitecross, just sitting at the bar and watching them throw. And Nicky used to come in before, obviously, he went down to play wherever he was playing. He used to pop in, or even after pop back, and even just seeing him throwing the ball, even going doubles and things, and he, yeah. It's the first time, because I wasn't around in the early scene and went to these tournaments. It was the first time I just sort of looked up, Jesus, he's good.
Oh, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Better than good.
yeah.
Did you know Mickey's a very religious person?
No.
Yep. If he wins a game of darts, he always genuflects. Yeah, very religious man. Uh, he
I'll watch out for that.
there's well, listen. I think anybody listening will tell you that Mickey D has he he has a natural ability to not know what he's doing when he wins a game of darts. I don't know how he does it. He there'll always be some sort of a yelp or a genuflect or something out of him, and
Yeah,
I love watching it. I think it's hilarious. I really love watching it. But it happens more often than not because he is a winner.
yeah,
Um,
the norm.
what's your chosen way? Do you have a particular way you react when you win a game or a big game, or have you seen anything in yourself that you didn't know was there if you win a big game?
Yeah, surprisingly, and a lot of people probably listen to this doesn't like it, but giving it a wee bit,
Oh, do you? Yeah,
the
right.
very odd time ahead of double.
Are you Gerwin Price level giving it like or
I'm not full girl in price, it's toned down to maybe a two in the Richter scale, but you're giving
more
yourself a wee, come
more
on type of thing.
more Pat Price?
Ah, yeah,
Get in the chips.
yeah.
Oh, brilliant. And so like what for you? What's the long term goal in darts for you? Is there somewhere you want to get to specifically or?
Um, just really just even test myself against the best in the league. Eventually, be on par with some of the boys. And have good games. They're sort of just to better myself. Long term goal is probably maybe to win something. Win something maybe even individually.
Okay.
Maybe Division Two, and maybe in a couple of years, or yeah, something like that. Just maybe a bit of silverware to probably pay off for all the times I'm practicing hitting the wall, getting a bit better.
You want to pay for the plastering of it? Is that the?
Yeah, prostrate, and then because we give Mickey Diesel a good shout out there, he'll paint it.
It'll take him a while to get there.
I know.
So
But yeah, just better myself, and maybe just win. Yeah, even win something. I would love to win something with the team. You see that even the team where I'm on now, I would love to win something. Great bunch of lads. They do work hard, and even myself, I'm throwing darts in the house even a couple of nights a week, bar Friday nights, and I'd love that. I can see it paying off from the scoring and maybe even the wee tournaments there. So yeah, I would love to do something for myself. Nothing major. Maybe win a wee tournament somewhere, and yeah, I would be thrilled with that.
well, I suppose the more tournaments you go to, the more experience you'll get, the better
Yeah.
you will become, and therefore should lead to that.
Hmm.
And the mentality is always ideal for that type of thing.
Hmm.
You have a nickname in darts. That's another thing that's going out of fashion is darts nicknames.
Oh, aye.
I luckily I was christened with a darts nickname one Friday night many years ago and lost it on the Saturday due to the same people who christened me with it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, yes.
Go on.
Well, we were playing the hockey club many moons ago, and I won the last game to get us to cup final, and
Hmm.
I beat Trevor Holmes. And Trevor hadn't been beat all year according to their team. So whenever I beat him, and it was a terrible, terrible game, probably 30 plus starts and finished on double two. But when I hit double two, obviously uproar and we were all delighted and blah blah blah. And Alan Copeland Jr. is like, now
Hmm.
caveat here, I'm a big Batman fan. big Batman fan. But Alan Copeland Jr. was, he's like, oh, you were like Mr. Freeze there on that double. That's your Darts nickname, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
And I thought, just that's brilliant nickname and all, you know. And because I'd only started in darts and all, and I thought, geez, I've got a nickname and all now. This is
Yeah.
brilliant. And then the next day on the group chat, I think it was Alan who had said, Mr. Freeze, and then it may have been Mickey White, may have been Mickey McDonald, may have been somebody else. Put in, he's won one game in six. He's more like Mr. Puddle. That was it. That was it. Nickname
Was that
done.
out the window?
Yep, nickname done, and they were right. But but at least I got like the 3 hours after that game out of it.
Yeah. Got the night.
I got the
The
night
night
out
with
of.
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, a night with Mr. Freeze. Your darts nickname is Hilltown Double One, HTD One, but
I think you'd do that too, maybe.
no, absolutely not. You told me that was your nickname, and I asked you why, and you went, "Well, why do you think?" And I was like, "Is it because you're from Hilltown and you're constantly on double one?" To which you said yes. So
Yeah, well, it means it can get down the board, doesn't it?
you have plenty of practice at all your
Oh,
doubles.
aye.
That's the whole point of it. So obviously lockdown. There's talk of the league finishing, if possible, and potentially open individuals no cups. Sorry, I think it was Liam had said. I'll need to get Liam back on and see where we're at with that. Obviously, that was a few weeks ago now, but um, it doesn't look like it's going to be changing anytime soon.
hmm
Do you think there's time and room to finish it, or do you think it should maybe just be, look, let's call it a day this year and move forward?
Um,
Like,
you
we're not
know,
the Premier League, you know what I mean? There's not millions of pounds riding on this league season finishing out. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's not
hmm
like the money involved is minor and can be donated to charity or given back to pubs or put into a kitty and prize money up or whatever. There's multiple things can happen, but
hmm
that's my opinion. What do you think?
I think it's you're probably going to get split because obviously teams doing well and teams not doing so well. It's going to be probably like a bit of your Premier League in football. Is it going to start? Teams want it to do because they're doing well. But well, can it go on? I think yes, it can. I would have no issue playing in it. But again, that's just my opinion. In relation to the money from the likes of pub sponsors and that's probably out of my league even to discuss because I don't know. But I know there's a lot of money going through it. As I say, even with charities, I don't know. But I think personally, again, it might be split that you could, get to some sort of arrangements, whether it's cups you play or individuals. I think, well, we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of months, but is it possible? Yes, I think it is, but time will tell probably on that front.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Obviously, people have to take into consideration what happens next. Normally, as soon as the Dart League finishes, people are out knocking people's doors and moving teams and different things happening as well. So
hmm
there's that whole element to take into account. And I suppose nobody's playing for your team until they sign the card, and they can push that back as
Yeah.
much as they need to. The
hmm
AGM, the AGM, in my opinion, is not supported as much as it should be because there's a lot of people give off a lot about certain things in Yuri Darts, but they don't turn up to the likes of the AGM to make a change.
Yeah.
Anytime I've been at an AGM, and I've been to the last two or three anyway at a minimum. Anytime I've been at an AGM, I have to be honest, the committee have been very good in not only entertaining ideas that are coming from people, but having an
hmm
open discussion with the people in the room to see. Like, one of the best things was when the Premier went best of five, and for a few years before that, it had been suggested, but it had been voted down on
hmm
the basis of there wasn't actually enough people from Premier teams there to vote it in.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because everybody in the room gets a vote and only a certain amount voted in. Thankfully, over the past couple of years, the AGMs, when they voted that in, um, everybody just said, you know what, why let every division do what the majority of that division are deciding and want to throw. If they want to throw best of one, let them do it. If they want to throw best of three, let them do it. And the thought extending the likes of third division or second division, well, third specifically, to best of three might have been a bad move, but it's actually probably created better dart throwers out of the players in that division.
Yeah, you know yourself. Like you could play one game and you could have a stinker, and if you're a good thrower, people take, people are different, taking their even their styles. Time to get going. Yeah, best of one might work better for some.
Yeah, well, look, it's a call to anybody that's listening, or that does have a listen to this. You know, go to the AGM, see what it's all about, listen to the committee and what they're having to say, and
Hmm.
um, because it's interestingly when doing these chats and podcasts, really I kind of wanted to start them out of a bit of boredom, but I was obviously intrigued and interested to listen to other people and their opinions about darts and life in general, and take us away from the misery of lockdown. But um,
Hmm.
it was a good insight. But people have a lot of, there has been a lot of comments online, certain people, agreeing and disagreeing with certain things that have been said on it. So, like, there's an opportunity there outside of the
Yeah,
craziness of lockdown from a global viral pandemic. There's an opportunity there to go and have these conversations with the committee and try and put points across that people will listen to and maybe implement the positive changes.
yeah, sure is. People sitting there that don't go to them maybe come up with a great idea sitting in the pub after a darts match, and like they've no voice. So that's the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, there's a suggestions box every year. Fire the
Hmm.
suggestions in, get it talked about.
Yeah.
Now there is some ludicrous ones there as well. Don't get me wrong. Like
No,
there's
no.
there's some crazy ones come in year on year as well, which the lads have to sift through, and there's some of them that don't even get looked at in well discussed on the night because they're so ludicrous. But um, it's a brilliant opportunity for people, and I think they should take it up. Get to the AGM, get your points across, have a
Hmm.
discussion with our dart teams.
Yeah.
Um, with how competitive do you find your division?
Our division, yeah, it's our division's what I would compare our division to is the championship in football. It's it's a tough to win. It's a tough place to get out of our division.
Yeah,
There is a lot of very, very good throwers. You know yourself. Even coming up with the boys in the hockey club, cracking side, the Bosco, a lot of good friends of mine, like Cripper Kelly and Bart and all them boys. Very, very good throwers. And you're even looking, last year, Martin McCartney, Pup.
yeah,
Like some throwers in that division. It is very, there's never really a runaway game, in our division. I find it's always close, or it's always goes down to your doubles, or yeah. I think it's a very competitive league, that Division Two.
and now Division Two. I'm trying to think exactly the teams in the division. At one stage in Division Two, it was the travel involved. It was mental.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
You're going to Omeath, and we're going to Omeath, and then you're maybe going out to Glen. People coming up the White Cross, and
yeah?
then yeah.
It is probably the division with the most travel involved,
Hmm.
which can have its strains on a pub or publican if they're having to pay the travel costs for the team.
Yeah, yeah.
Which towards the end of the season, if teams have nothing to play for, can lead to further problems. Teams maybe not wanting to travel or whatever. So,
Hmm.
but again, if these teams all enter the league and pay their fees and want to play their darts, there's not much really you can do about that. Like,
No, if they want to play their darts, and yeah, I don't really see an issue with it. Understand that, like obviously the problem with if pubs are paying them, or paying the transport or whatever. But
mm,
if they want to play their darts and they pay in, yeah, I don't see really any issues with it, to be honest. But it is just a pain in the backside sometimes if you're maybe a crap day at work and you have to go to Omeath, or whatever. But or you have to come down to White Cross, or but yeah, if you a lot of boys just love their darts as well, so they'll probably go anywhere.
and what considering we're talking there about boys that love their darts, what drove your decision to play darts in Dundalk?
I have a lot of good friends in Dundalk, and obviously I work in Dundalk, and it was on a Thursday night, so the likes of like he went to some like Trevor Doyle,
Yeah,
his team in the Malthouse there, so started coming down, just having a couple of legs of the boys, and yeah, just asked me to want to join the team, and yeah, brilliant crack. As I say, get down the road with Diesel, and even Da gets down as well, so yeah, enjoy the crack down there. It's a competitive league as well. It's a lot of good throwers in that as well, even coming from Newry down to there, and probably vice versa. All the Dundalk boys coming up to here on a Friday night too. So it's um it's a good thing to have if you're looking your darts as well. If you're on a Thursday night too, if you're available.
Do you find any difference in how darts is there compared to Newry?
Um, yeah, so the I think just no respect for how it's run. I think just with Newry, it's obviously it's a lot more, it's run a bit better, I think. And even like with the teams, there's not as many teams in it either. But all a great bunch of lads. Don't get me wrong, it's ran well, but Newry's up there with the best being ran.
Yeah,
So you're sort of coming on a Friday night spoiled. You have you have all your fixtures coming out early, so you'll know who you're playing in Newry, and everything's just in ship shape. Not saying no respect for the Dundalk League, it's brilliantly ran, but just if you're coming from Newry, it's just it's the top, I think.
it's just a little bit more finely tuned, maybe.
Finely tuned, yeah.
So a backhanded compliment there for Liam Bradley. I mean, there's not too many people who will throw Liam a compliment, but there's a backhanded one for him. Well, listen, we're running out of time, and you have to go and throw Jerry O'Hara in a competition now.
Yeah, he'd be patiently waiting to give me a pasting, I'd imagine, to see how it goes.
So lockdown is being very kind to you in the amount of darts you're getting to throw. I seen you last night playing, Liam, as Mark was testing his streaming setup, which looked very good, by the way. Um,
hmm
so you're going off to play Jerry. So last thing, I suppose to say to you is thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
Uh,
Yeah, pleasure.
we appreciate it. It's nice to get a different view on life down in the second division in Uri Darts rather than the Premier all the time. Um, do you envisage that you're going to play Premier Darts in Uri anytime soon, or
Definitely, it's something I would love to do. I'm in no rush whatsoever because I
I
know what I'm
like
up
that.
against, but I would love to. Yeah,
I like
someday.
that. I'm in no rush. Good
Yeah.
attitude. Best attitude to have because you could be like me, you could go to it far too early and get spanked every week.
Oh, you're doing all
Um,
right now.
yeah, now, yes, not then. But listen, pleasure having you on. Thanks very much for taking the time out to have a chat with me, and we'll catch up again soon. So more power to you, and hope the online league continues to be the runaway success it is.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, and cheers everybody on the Friday nights and that as well. So fair play.
Indeed. Okay, well, Gary, thanks very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
No bother, mate. See you later.
All
Good
right,
luck.
bye bye.
Bye bye.